Hey everybody, my name's Chris Willis and welcome to my channel. I've created this channel to follow me as I transition over from being an everyday snake owner to breeding ball pythons and other snakes and reptiles further down the road. Before I get started, I just wanted to give a shout out to Lily over at Creatures and Creations. She made this awesome little handcrafted plaque for me, and I'm going to go ahead and include a link down in the description below, so please head over to her Facebook page and check her out. She really does have some amazing stuff. Okay everybody, so like I said, this channel is going to be following me as I begin breeding ball pythons and eventually later down the road, other snakes and reptiles. I primarily plan to work with pythons, boas, and geckos. As I grow my collection and learn more about them, I'll branch out and possibly eventually start working with other reptiles as well. Can't say for certain as of yet what I'm planning to work with, but those are the things that I just have in mind for now. I've been keeping ball pythons for about 7 years now, and prior to that I owned an Argentine boa. My current collection consists of 11 ball pythons and one wonderful Dumeril's boa. Over the years I've learned that I really do love these animals, and every single one of them holds a special place in my heart. So after years of doing research and considering it, I finally decided that it's time that I go ahead and just start breeding them and seeing what it is that I can produce. So as far as what I have right now, I'm working with just this one rack at the moment. This rack houses 12 snakes, right now only 11 in it. I have my 6 females on the right and my 5 males on the left. I will be breeding another rack here soon to house my females. That will be a 41 quart tub rack, and this one is meant to only be holding my males. This 5-foot tank here houses my beautiful girl Scarlet down there, my Dumeril's boa. And as far as heating goes, she has just a couple strips of heat tape down there running off of a Big Apple Herp Supply thermostat. Simple, basic, gets the job done. It's what I started with and it works well for her. Over here, I'm using my Vivarium Electronic. This is a dual zone thermostat that also runs my incubator, which is not here right now. It is actually currently up in my office. I was doing some work to it, changing some things around. As you can see, I have basic things up here, some paper towels, scales, hand sanitizer, feeding tongs, handling hook, just a couple notebooks that I keep my records in as far as feedings, feedings, weight, sheds, when I have snakes paired, when I see locks, that sort of thing. Moving on from that, right here, I was going to mention as well, my girl Scarlet over here, the Dumeril's boa, that tank does take up a lot of space in here, and I have a corner over here that's kind of I wouldn't call it junk, because a lot of it, there's tools in those boxes, and it's kind of a little storage space right now. But I'm actually going to be building her a tank, it's not going to be as wide, but it'll be thicker and higher. And I'm going to put a couple different tiers on it and see how she takes to moving from one to the other. Later on, when I start collecting more boas, that space will probably get cut down again. Anyways, like I was saying, my rats. Currently, I'm keeping nothing but fancy rats. I have quite a few of them in here at the moment. I actually am going to be breeding some African soft furs as well. A buddy of mine's breeding them, and he's going to sell me a few to get me started. And I'm going to primarily have the right side African soft furs, the left side fancy rats. And those bottom 2 empty spots there are actually set up to hold 2 more bins. I just don't have them here right now. I never picked them up. This was plenty to get me started. The fancy rats will primarily be used so that anything I produce that I'm intending to sell or gift away, as I have given snakes as gifts before, they'll be eating the fancy rats, as it's what most people can get a hold of, and ball pythons do have a tendency to imprint on their feed, meaning that they wouldn't go back to fancy rats after eating the African soft furs. The African soft furs will primarily be used for my breeders and snakes that are going to be staying in my collection. This one tub here houses a single mama. It's getting ready to pop any day now. I'm not one of those guys that'll tell you I'm a big fan of rats. They're so adorable. They might have their cute moments, but they're scratchy, they're smelly, and the only reason I keep them is for food. That being said, my girl likes them and There's one in there that's a pet of hers. In fact, the one you see its nose right now. Okay, let's see. What else do I want to mention here? As far as having the rats in the snake room and feeding, I've never had a problem. All my ball pythons still eat regularly. My Dumeril's boa eats regularly. And no, just because my boa can smell food in the room, she doesn't snap at me anytime I put my hand in there. She's a really good girl. I could reach in there now and pick her up and not have a problem. Other than that, like I said, there's some stuff in here that's just storage right at the moment. It needs to get out. A little fan back there so that I can occasionally open the window, kick the fan on just to kind of air out the room a bit. Over here I have some, well, first off up here I have a much smaller rack. I'm doing this out of my home, so I can't have racks everywhere. I'm confined to this room, otherwise the old lady will hate me. So this is where I quarantine. It's opposite wall of the snakes, completely different tubs, lids on, completely different heating, though the thermostat's not plugged in right now. I have another Big Apple Herp. There's storage inside of these. I mean, nothing special. Tubs, some cleaning stuff. This is being blocked off right now, but it's just got a couple 41 quart tubs in there. Papers, random stuff. Spare water bowl, old heat tape, little tubes that baby snakes love. Inside this tub here, the bottom drawer there is actually going to be for files, for records. Just have some more Aspen and some of the rat food. I actually do use Missouri rat food, which a fresh bag just came in today, because the bag I have in there is almost out. Other than that, that's about all for what's in here right now. The reason I'm actually going to be moving Scarlet out of this tank is because this is going to be making room for little hatchling rack there. The male rack will move over and the female rack over here with the incubator on this wall here. I do actually have, they're not dry erase boards, but they're basically dry erase sheets that I'm going to be hanging up on the walls, which are plain right now for notes, that sort of thing. I can tell you now, family is a very important thing to me, and my son especially. And he shows a lot of interest in my snakes as well as what I do with my snakes. He's very fascinated by them, which I absolutely love. I'm hoping that he'll actually get very involved with me. So what I'm actually planning to do, it's pretty much all but done. The same person I'm buying the couple of African soft furs from also has some leopard geckos that he's going to sell to me for my son for his birthday, which is coming up. He's getting ready to turn 7. And while he's highly supervised around the snakes, I'm hoping that the leopard geckos are going to be both a pet for him as well as a father-son breeding project, and he will hopefully take a large interest in them as he has with the snakes. And I plan on making it so that the geckos, the leopard geckos to start, later on down the road, some why can't I think of the name of it all of a sudden? Crested geckos will be kind of our project, me and him. The guy who I'm getting the leopard geckos from is just starting out on crested geckos, so maybe I'll get some from him, maybe I'll get some from somewhere else, I don't know. This guy's actually a guy who used to own a store near me. However, unfortunately, due to legal issues pertaining to the name of the store, if I remember correctly, he actually had to close down shop. That being said, as I want to try and keep this whole thing as much family-oriented as possible, my girl, she does actually come and get herself involved some. She's the one who talked me into starting a YouTube channel. She's a bit camera shy, so it might be a little while before y'all see her on camera, but she's going to be helping out. Later on, I'll be doing videos where you'll probably see more of me in the video. She'll be the person operating the camera for me. She originally was recording these videos, but I'm new to YouTube. I wasn't liking the way it was coming out, so I decided to do a faceless video for my first one. But she's going to be doing my camera operation as well as helping me to get a Facebook page started up and helping me make sure that we get responses to everybody who messages us, has any questions or anything like that. So, like I said, family's a big deal, and I hope to get the whole family involved in this. Anyways, that's going to be it. So, thank you very much for watching my introductory video. I really do appreciate it. Please go ahead and leave me any comments below of anything you'd like to see, anything you'd like to know. I'm new to YouTube, so any advice and recommendations is highly appreciated. My next video, I'm going to be going through and showing off each of my snakes individually, letting you meet all of them, going over what it is I have, who's been pairing up as of so far this year. Please give me a like, it really does help. Subscribe if you would like to follow me and my family. And don't forget to go over to Lily's page, Creatures and Creations, on Facebook and check her out. Thank you very much once again. Y'all have a wonderful day.